Good morning, YouTube reseller. Mom here. Welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about merchant fulfilled returns because it is the season. It is the 24th of January 2023, and returns people have until the 31st. So they could be sending things out for another 7 days or so here, and then it may take a few days to get to me. So I will be processing these returns. And a lot of people ask, what do you have to do? What do you have to do? Do you have to go in and refund them? What's the process? What if they return the wrong thing, etc.? So here is my process. First, my return address is tied to my PO box. So when I do get those merchant fulfilled returns, they go to the PO box. It's not a big deal except for this time of year, because then my PO box, I usually have to go over to the bigger box. They give you a key to get to the bigger box to get your items. If you are in an area where you're not going to be able to manage the door or get those returns, you may want to set up a PO box. It's kind of nice because it's also my public address for those, so that just privacy and all of that. But I do like it because you get a lot of returns this time of year, and it's nice to know they're going to a nice safe spot. There's like no argument that they got stolen or mishap on the porch. Okay, let's talk about from start to finish. I am returning this item myself. It is one of those dog grinder for their nails, and my dog will not come near it. And I know sometimes you can teach an old dog new tricks, but yeah, I've had it for a week. There's no way. She's never going to touch this thing. So I need to return it. When you go to select the return options as a customer, certain options will get you free shipping and certain options will not. And we all know that most people are going to select the option that will get them the free shipping, right? You say it's not as described, or it didn't show up, or it's not what you expected, or it didn't fit. There's just a whole bunch of reasons. And if you just say like, well, I changed my mind, then the customer is going to be paying for that return shipping. Okay, a lot of people don't do that, to be honest. All right, once the customer has selected their options, they need to follow through with the instructions. It usually is package it up or take it to your UPS office, or where you can go to Kohl's. And so I could literally go take a ticket, take this to Kohl's, and then Kohl's will wrap it up and send it back to the third-party seller or wherever it's going. Kohl's is terrible. They just like slap labels on stuff and send it. They don't really package it up. My UPS guy, who I love, he usually is pretty nice, and he'll put things nicely into a bag and then put the label on and send it out, which means as a reseller, when I get the item back, it could be beat to heck. It could have gone on in a bin and had 200 other items thrown on top of it. The person at Kohl's could have manhandled it or put the sticker on in a way where it's going to deface the box, making it unsellable, right? This you'll see a lot with, say, toasters or kitchen appliances. They return a coffee pot and it's in a box. They're just going to slap a label on it and ship it. They're not going to put that box in a box, unfortunately. Everybody is trying to save money. I get it, but it is irritating when I get something back and I'm like, now it's like so damaged I can't do anything with it. And that's part of doing business. Overall, my return rate, I just pulled numbers for 2022. Overall, I shipped out, I have them right here. Let's see here. Where did I put it? I might have put it up here. I did. I sent out a total of 36,000 items, and I have an average return rate of 3.6. So you can do the math. It still feels like a lot of returns when they're coming in, but really 3.6% of my total items being returned is not too shabby. That's the real life numbers. My top return category is, of course, apparel at 11%. My least is health and beauty and grocery, where you can't really return a lot of items, and it's 1.72. So if you're thinking of different categories and you're like really overwhelmed by the return process, don't be. It's really made out to be worse than what it is. Okay, so once this customer gets their instructions, they have to go follow through. They have to go bring it to the store, bring it to wherever, and that's where a lot of customers are going to fail, and they just don't. It sits on their desk, it sits in their car, it sits in the trunk, and they only have a certain return window to get that item out and processed so they can get their return. If they don't, do you bother them to do that? No, don't go remind them to get that return done. Don't automatically return them, because then there's no incentive for them to actually return the item. They get to keep the item and the return money. So do not automatically issue those refunds until you get said product. There's no reason to. There's no financial reason to do that. Now, if you have completely goobered somebody's order and you're doing the customer service, then that's like a different story. Let's say you sent out the wrong item and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, let me make this right. You return whenever you feel is right for that said scenario. But if the customer just bought something, they want to return it, like there's no reason to give them a refund ahead of time. When that item gets packaged up and the return label put on, and then it gets scanned by UPS or the post or whatever, that's when the automatic return is going to happen through Amazon. It used to be when you process the return, but now Amazon has that new program. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like scan, return scan or something like that. But as soon as it gets scanned into the processing of whatever company is delivering, then the customer gets refunded. So you will see items if you go to your managed returns, you will see items that have been refunded that you haven't received back. That's okay. You'll get them back. Now, do I go in and like keep track of each item that I get back and everything? Not really, because I don't have that many to keep track of. So it's not a huge process. I'm more worried about, I use Seller Bench to go through my FBA items coming in, because that's where I have more issues. So pick your battles, folks. If you have 10 returns and you want to like log those 10 returns and spend a lot of time on it, go for it. But really, you know, the post is 99% correct, and I'm sure I've let one or two things go under the radar, but the cost of those items, it's not like I'm selling $100 items here. If I were selling diamond rings, I'd be much more in tune with that than $10 toys from Q4. Again, pick your battles. All right, now that the item's been scanned and it's sent to you, it could come back in good condition. It may not come back in good condition. I don't know if I can, let's see if I can cover this up. This one's got a whole bunch of, I don't know, like a mouse chewed on it or what, but it's got a whole lot of, I don't know if it got stuck in a conveyor belt. It's pretty bad. I don't think the product inside is bad, but we'll see. So I get these items back. Customer's already been returned, right? They got returned at scan, but they sit in the desk, and on Friday or whatever day I'm doing it, I'm going to open said item. I'm going to see what it is and see if it's the right item and if it's in any sort of sellable condition. What I also will do is I will go and look up this order in my returns, and I go by tracking number. So the tracking number on this is like 92020901. You can use a scanner, a barcode scanner. Like I have all my computers out in the warehouse have barcode scanners to them. I don't have one in my office here because I just don't use it a lot. So either you can type it in, it's a long number, or you can go use your barcode scanner. If you use the barcode scanner, it's going to give you the order number and the tracking number. So you just got to go delete the order number. And I can't remember if it's at the beginning or the end, but look at the tracking number. And if you see a bunch of numbers and you're like, what are the extra numbers? And it's not showing up when I try to search it by tracking number. That's because when your barcode scanner catches it, it catches that other set of numbers. I want to say it's the order number, but I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a long time since I researched that. My brain is only so full, right? Okay, so now that I've tracked the order down in the system, I can see that, you know, it was refunded. I can see the return reason. Maybe that's important, maybe it isn't, and just verify that is all good to go, and I don't need to manually refund them. Since the new system's been in place, I don't really need to do this part because they've been pretty good about just issuing the refunds. But you know, that's my just habits from previous Q4s to do. All right, now that I've seen that, okay, they got the refund, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna inspect the item. If it is grossly ridiculous, like they sent the wrong, the worst one I ever had was I sent out a pair of Nike joggers and they sent me back a pair of used joggers that looked about 10 years old, reeked of cigarette smoke, the cuffs were gone, there was holes in it, there was stains everywhere. I mean, I didn't even want to touch this. I literally took some tongs and took it out to the trash. But what you can do is you can take pictures and submit to get reimbursed for that. And they're referred to as safety claims. You can go into the safety claim section. You say, see if it's qualified for a safety claim. Sometimes it is, sometimes it doesn't qualify. You can try opening up a case, but it's been difficult to do. Again, sometimes you have to pick your battles. With the guy with the pants, I felt that he really needed the pants. I felt that I'm not going to go after a guy who needs the pants this bad, and I let it go, and it's a write-off at work. You can definitely eat the cost of that. I keep track of all of the stuff that I donate, trash, whatever, on a Google spreadsheet, and at the end of the year my CPA tallies that up. All right, so I did have one that I did a video on where they sent the wrong puzzle. I mean, it was just completely the wrong puzzle back. It's not even a puzzle I sell. So what do you do in that case? Amazon is going to require this label. So if there's any question about it, go ahead and take a picture of this label. Then inside, if there is any paperwork inside, take a picture of that too. Take a picture of the whole package, maybe the back of the package, maybe this damage right here. For the item itself, take pictures of said item. You're going to be submitting as many pictures to Amazon as possible to prove your case, and they are going to want to see all of it. Unfortunately, the little squares, I don't have any of the little squares, but when you get returns back from FBA, you get a little square sheet of paper. They really want to see that square piece of paper and the package. So if you open this up and throw the packaging away, you're done. You can try, but you're probably not going to win your case. I did a separate video on that whole process of going through and getting a reimbursement. So if you just search my channel for like reimbursements, you will find that on the exact pictures and what to submit. But anyhow, let's say it's now the right product, it's returned, it's in fine condition. What are your options as a reseller? You have options. Some of them you may not like. One is you can send it into FBA now, which is probably what this is a stuffy. I can already tell it's my poor picture. I can tell this is a stuffed animal. I will just send it into Amazon. If it hasn't been opened, it's still in its, I put all of my stuffed animals plushes in a poly bag and then into this type of bag because of the wear and tear that those bags get. I want to make sure my customer gets a nice new item, especially if it's a kid's toy, right? So I can take that item out, send it right into Amazon FBA, hopefully get and recoup my capital. At this point with my returns, if I just get my capital back, I am a happy camper. If I make profit, I'm doing a little dance. If I have to take a loss, I'm going to bear it. I'm going to bear it because I made a lot off of the other Q4 items. For every one item returned, I have 20 other sales going on. So, I can afford the loss on a few things. Now, if I don't feel that it's good enough for Amazon, maybe it's a shirt and they've taken the tags off. See if it's worthy for eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, anything else that you can make a buck at. Sometimes in fact, it's about that time of year, I will start gathering up and I will have a garage sale. And I get a lot of things about wholesale. So usually garage sale prices are pretty close to wholesale prices, and I can get a buck or two for my items at a garage sale. You can try and return to the store. A lot of the store returns are within the policy time frame of when I purchased it. I probably purchased it within the 2 weeks before Christmas, and it's almost the end of January. I might be within that 60-90 day time frame. That is a personal preference. Sometimes people are like, that hurts the reselling community because then those stores crack down on resellers. They typically do. Sometimes the attitude is they get enough returns as it is, as long as you're not making waves. It's just like any other customer doing a return. Would I go into one Walmart and do one stuffed animal return? Absolutely. I have no problem with that. Walmart is a big company. They have returns all the time. I am not making any waves. There's no red flags with returning one plush to a Walmart. If this was a Walmart item, it's not. But would I go into Walmart and return 300 items? No. No, I would find a way to repurpose those items. The next thing that I can do is save it to next Q4. We are doing that with any Christmas. I am pulling my Christmas items, anything that is a stocking, Christmas candy, very Christmas specific item. I am either liquidating, disposing, returning to the office, and then we are going to box them up. I will put them on merchant fulfilled just in case somebody wants a Christmas item during the off time of year, but they are going to be organized in my office, and I keep that value of inventory on, again, my sheet that my CPA has me keep. That's the value of things that are not in Amazon. So if I put up, let's say I put 3 up for merchant fulfilled and it's captured in inventory lab, then I take my stock here and I'll subtract it by 3. I hope that makes sense. Basically, my inventory at the end of the month needs to match up with what inventory I actually have. Somebody asked a really good question in the channel the other day that they had unlisted inventory in inventory lab, but they sent it into FBA and they didn't use that pull from the unlisted. Should they just go delete it? Absolutely, because you don't want to count your inventory twice. Hope that makes sense. So if this is a stuffed animal that I'm going to put up merchant fulfilled and I've got 20 of them, I may only put 3 up for sale on merchant fulfilled, and then I've got the 7 on my other list of inventory, so I can keep that captured correctly. All right, other than that, I mean, that's all you have to do. I throw away the bag and pretty much anything else that's junk. Sometimes people will send you their trash. That's always fun to open up a return and it's trash, and you know, maybe the item and it's trash, and sometimes the item is trashed. So that is disappointing as well. And if the item is trashed, I don't return those to the store. I write them off on my ledger of those things that I write or donate. There are certain things that I just don't deal with when I don't deal with used underwear. If people tried on a pack of underwear, let's say we sold a 7-pack of Hanes underwear and they tried one on, yeah, I don't touch that. I send it off to either the Goodwill or it goes in the dumpster. So you got to pick your personal lines, right? Some people are fine with dealing with used underwear, and there is a market for used underwear and used socks and dirty socks, etc. But no, not for me. That's my personal boundary right there. But you've got to pick your battles. Again, if you think you can get $2 for used underwear at a garage sale, go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm here kind of to show you what needs to be done, what has to be done, and you know, just all your different options. As far as things go in Amazon, you really only need to return and issue a refund if you have physically received the item. So let's say, hypothetically, this person said, oh yeah, I'm gonna return this item, and then they never did, and they failed that time frame, that cutoff to go get it to the mailbox, and they're messaging you and they're like, oh, can I do a refund or whatnot? Direct them to Amazon customer service. That's what we pay them for. We pay them to take on these calls and do that. Or I tell them, you know, go to your orders, and if there's a return option, there's a return option. If there's not a return option, there's nothing I can do because I don't run Amazon. Again, if you feel that it's absolutely your fault, you can go ahead and manually push through a refund, but you will get customers that will want a refund. I've heard it all. I have cancer. I'm dying. This was for my mother. This was, you know, I went broke and now I'm homeless. I'm like, well, if you're homeless, then you shouldn't be buying stuff on Amazon. I don't know what to tell you. I don't buy it. For a minute. But, you know, each sob story, you can kind of tell if it's real or fake, or at least I've gotten good at reading between the lines on those ones. But if they are trying to hit you up to manually push through a return and they have not sent the item and you have not received the item, you do not have to issue them the refund. You can if you feel nice, but you do not have to. And you can kindly and professionally explain that to them, that they need to go through the process to get the return, that this is a business just like any other business. You couldn't do that to Target. Do you think that anybody could really call Target and be like, I bought this milk last week, but my kid's now lactose intolerant and my house caught on fire and I lost my 3 jobs. I can't afford it. Can you refund me? No. They'd laugh and hang up the phone. They probably wouldn't even take the call. You can't do that to big stores, or any stores really. So don't let yourself fall victim to that either. And don't sit here and fret about it either. I see a lot of people really getting worried and anxious on the returns. And it's like, they're such a small part of my day that I try not to let that negativity and be like, oh, this customer, they returned it. Why'd they order it? They were stupid or whatnot. Like, whatever. They misordered. They got too many toys. They couldn't pay their credit card. They overspent. Whatever their reason is for the return, I don't care. I don't care if they returned it. Okay, we're going to move on. It's business. Get her done. Move on to money-making activities and spend your time focusing on your business growth and not these small little things that happen, because returns are going to happen. Any store out there will have returns, whether you're brick and mortar or your e-commerce. They're part of life. Just have your process, have your route on when it comes back, what you're doing with it, and move on with your day. All right, guys, take care and have an amazing day.